All right. The notice requirement provided for the Open Public Meetings Law. The notice requirement provided for the Open Public Meetings Law has been satisfied. Notice was properly given. Said notice has been transmitted to the Courier News on Tuesday, January 8th, as well as posted on the city website. Roll call.
Council members Briggs Jones.
Present.
Councilman Graham. Absent during roll call. Councilman McCray.
Present.
Councilman Wyatt.
Present.
Councilwoman Sessoms.
Present.
Vice President Hockaday.
Present.
Council President Cherry.
Present.
6 members present and a quorum.
All right, please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing. Tonight's Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Ms. Chloe Harris.
Okay. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, for liberty and justice for all.
Humbly we ask God, the giver of peace and the lover of charity, to give the entire family of nations true agreement with his will, and to grant the light of his spirit on all those who work for justice and all those who work for peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Good evening, everyone. I want to thank Ms. Chloe Harris. Ms. Chloe Harris is a member of Jack and Jill. She's a member of Shiloh Baptist Church. She's an artist, a dancer, and also in her free time, she loves to clean the community. So, Chloe, thank you for helping to keep the clean. All right. Can I have a motion to approve the minutes from the council meeting on March 9th, 2026?
So, seconded.
All right, it's been properly moved and seconded. All right, discussion items. CBAC is the first one. I know 2 weeks ago, CBAC members met with the chair and also the director of finance. I know that the administration is aggressively working on presenting the budget to the council. I just want to thank the CBAC members in advance for their participation and the time that they're going to be taking to do this budget and their comment. Remote public comment. As you see, remote comment is back tonight. Yes. So tonight we do have a volunteer that will be doing that. So I just want to make sure that we're mentioning just remote public comment is back, as I mentioned last month. Another highlight is that we have a clock. If you look to your right, as a countdown. All right, so those are the 2 new added features in this council meeting. All right, we have ordinances MC 2026-04 and MC 2026-05, which are scheduled for public hearing and final passage for a regular meeting as advertised. All right, we're going to move on to resolutions. The legislative body, we just have one resolution, which is recognizing Autism Awareness Month. Do I have consent to add this to the agenda?
Yes.
All right. BA, I see that you have 2 items. Could you please present your items?
Yes, thank you, Council President. We have just 2 easy items for you tonight. One is just a recognition resolution recognizing National Public Health Week, which was April 6th to April 12th. And then we have a resolution appointing 2 new members to the Central Business District Management Corp.
All right. Any questions from my council colleagues? Seeing none. Do I have consent to add this to the voting meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Any items that we want to take off? All right. I'm going to the next, Director of Finance. I see that you have 3 items. Could you please present your items?
Yes, good evening all. First, Resolution 153-26 is a resolution authorizing a contract award to Prime Point Software for payroll services, time and attendance tracking, and human resources management information system. This is for 1 year and in an amount not to exceed $97,068. Resolution R154-26 is an amended resolution authorizing the adoption of the current fund temporary emergency appropriations. This is for the budget, for the municipal, and for all of the utilities. And this is for the months January through June, and this was amended to add one grant and to increase one grant. And Resolution 155-26 is a resolution authorizing the cancellation and refund of tax sales certificate.
All right,
Are there any questions?
I have a question, Council President.
yes.
Madam Director, can you just give a real high-level overview of exactly how does Prime Point work in terms of payroll accountability for city employees?
We get a report from Prime Point. We look at city employees on a bi-weekly basis. Directors are supposed to sign off on time work for all employees. And that goes into Prime Point, that comes over Prime Point. And then employees are paid according to the hours that they put in. Most employees put in 70 hours a week for a 2 weeks period. And so we have various checkpoints. The directors check the times that are worked by the employees under them. And then the payroll runs the payroll for the 2 weeks, and then that should be reviewed by someone, and then that's how payment is made. Does that answer your question?
It addresses it. I just also, maybe if you can speak to, what is the checkpoint in order to ensure that we are not paying employees who are separated and/or retired or no longer with the city?
So when an employee retires or separates from the city, a form should be entered into the system, and we should know that that employee is no longer on the payroll. And so that employee's time cannot be signed off on by a department head. So a department head signing off, if they had 16 employees and one retired, they should be signing off for 15. And then that goes into the system, and then payroll would run the payroll, and then that should also be reviewed. So that's like 3 different checkpoints.
So thank you, Director. I just want to add one thing. So on top of the multiple checks that the Director of Finance added, our time system is integrated with Prime Point. So our employees clock in and clock out, and that's integrated with Prime Point. So Prime Point pulls those hours directly. Like if you clock in at 8:07 and you leave at 4:07, it knows exactly what time, and that's what gets pulled in to get paid. So you're getting paid the hours that you clocked in.
Is that for all city employees, including executive level, or?
It's not at the executive level, but it's at pretty much every other level.
Okay. Thank you for that level of accountability.
Any other questions? All right. Seeing none, do I have consent to add this to the voting meeting?
Yes.
All right, are there any items that we wish to take off? All right. Director of Public Works, I see you have 5 items. Can you please present your agenda items?
Good evening, Council President Cherry, members of the council. Department of Public Works has 5 resolutions for your review and approval. Resolution 15626, authorizing change order for the Community Development Block Grant from Hannah Atkins Woodby Inclusive Playground. Money being transferred, $61,000 being transferred to the Silerfield basketball courts. The purpose of this is due to the grant expiring on June 30th, so we don't want to lose that $61,000 in Community Development Block Grant funding. So that's why we moved up to basketball courts, and the purpose for that, of course, the DEP is authorizing us to do testing of our soil at Hannah Atkins. So once that soil is tested, it's going to take some time to do that because they're backed up. So we don't want to lose that, forfeit that $61,000 grant. So that's why that funding is there for that. Now, the solid build the basketball courts over that. Resolution 15726, authorizing change order number 1, amount of $29,000, which I'm going to amend that to reflect $21,305.70, amended to reflect that on the record. And that's for the, I'm thinking about Safe Route to School. Sorry, I'm skipping one. Resolution 15726 is the amount of $29,389, the change order, and that's for the playground at Silerfield too. That's going to be repaired, done over, all new. We got an Urban Parks grant for $415,760. And the balance will be paid with capital funds for this project. And that's a completely inclusive playground over there. Resolution 15826, authorizing change order number 1 to J. Alexander in the amount not to exceed $21,305.73. That's being amended to reflect that $21,305.73 for the record, away from the $27,196.23. And this is for 5 intersections to be created and done over in certain areas of town. One of the areas is West Front Street and Grant Ave, West Front Street, Park Avenue, West 9th Street, Norman Avenue, Washington Avenue, Connery, and Woodland Avenue, Central Street. This goes back maybe 8 years to 10 years to get this all right. This is all federally funded, this whole grant. And the grant itself that we received is a total of $1,311,000, $37.10. And it has to be broken up into 2 parts. We have $91,000 for construction, and the other $409,000, that's just for engineering services, construction inspection, etc. That we have to monitor our engineers with the work, so that's what that's for. Resolution 15926, authorizing one amount of $56,049.26. We have received a grant for $630,000, $883. And this money is booked from the NJDOT for the project. The balance is paid for with capital dollars of this project. We had 6 bidders that bid on this project. So the total cost of this project, when everything is said and done, is $56,000. And this is for to do the work at night. This goes from Plainfield Avenue to Watch on Front Street, and it's the best way to do that in terms of from a business standpoint. All business, we don't want to interrupt them. So we're looking to do that between hours of 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. Get the things done there. And that's for $56,629.46. That will be the change order number for that. 16026 is authorized approval for a street opening at 1332 1474 North Avenue by New Jersey American Water. And this is at the Netherwood Well facility. This is them just going to open it up and then they'll close it back up. This is basically because under moratorium, we want to make sure everything is done according to schedule with everything. That they do infrared and everything right to close back up everything. What is it we do? And any question I'll be one hand.
Thank you, Director. Before I open up to my council colleagues, for R156-26, how do you plan to replenish that for Hannah Atkins, the $61,000?
Yeah, the $61,000 will be transferred. That will be transferred over from the capital account back to Hannah Atkins. That's $61,000. We're using the grant, CBD grant that they would have had. So we're moving that over for the solid bill project. And Hannah Atkins will replenish the $61,000 capital to be transferred over.
And when does the Hannah Atkins project, when will it commence?
And that's a good question. Maybe sometime, hopefully, when they have to do the ground penetration radar, to check for underground storage tanks, lead, everything else before they do that. So it's pretty much backed up. That's why we transferred this money over. So hopefully within July, August, they'll be out there to go test everything over there before we can move forward with the project. Because remember, we have a CIP, completely inclusive playground grant, that's sponsored by Green Acres. So we have to follow their rules and regulations. That's what's like that. But those try to speed them up as soon as we can. We're trying to get them that done as soon as possible.
Thank you so much, Director. I'm opening up to my council colleagues. Any questions?
Council President?
Councilwoman Sessoms?
Yes, thank you, Director. Just a few questions, and most of this is for learning for me, just to make sure that I'm not conflating a municipal system with a state system. I thought I read in the supporting documents that the proposed vendor is saying that this project, their bid was over a year ago. This is federally funded. Do we know what was the delay in getting this project started?
Everything from the federal government, we had to go through their whole process with every step of the way. They kept going back and forth with us over and over again until we can do the work with everything. We were prepared, we submitted everything, but their process, being one of our municipalities in the state, they were slow in moving to get to us, and we just finally got what we needed, and we wanted to keep pursuing it. That's what held everything up, just been going back and forth with every process.
So this particular vendor has not started the work?
No, they haven't started anything yet, right.
Okay.
And that's the change because of the time frame for them a year ago, saying everything went up, the price of everything went up from that time period.
And so, And with that statement, does our bid process require bidders to include a clear expiration or validity period to protect against price fluctuations such as this?
Well, maybe it's been out for a year. I don't think for a year.
Okay. Okay. And have we ever reopened a bid?
Say again, I'm sorry.
Have we ever reopened a bid after over a year?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Councilman Wyatt?
Yes, through the chair, 156-26, will money be allocated, or in the foreseeable future, will we allocate money for the bathrooms and the concession stand? Because I know we were receiving complaints over the past few years at Satterfield.
Well, that's a good question. So right now, what we're doing, we're going to try to do as much renovation as we can based on the funding we have with the bathroom. To try a family room in the bathroom and do some upgrades there the best we can. And whatever other grant funding comes available, that's the goal, to do that, right, to make some major upgrades over that.
Okay. All right, and just 159-26, not to really go into that, but can you just give an overall overview of how many potholes were actually filled in the city of Plainfield, and just a timetable of when you would get around to the other potholes?
Well, good question. We're working every day. We're doing approximately 200 to 300 potholes a day. We're using about 3 tons of asphalt to fill the hot patch across the city. So we're going to do that nonstop. We're doing it proactive and reactive to get things done. So whatever comes in, we're trying to make that happen, in addition to working to get public service and American Water. The goal is to have them sometime in June to get started doing a lot of milling and paving and getting these roads back to where they're supposed to be. A lot of those potholes, too, from the trenches that were dug, and the air voids in them, the rain, salt, etc., that got into them, and the cold weather made everything expand. So that caused us to even have more potholes. So yes, we're addressing them on a daily basis, Councilman. Aggressively addressing them to try to get things done.
All right. Thank you, Director.
Chair.
Yes, Councilman Hockman.
So, kudos to the department for following up on the grant. It's a significant grant to beautify those intersections. All of the places that you mentioned are certainly places that could use a refresh and more clearly defined crossing lanes, et cetera. So thank you for that. Regarding Siler Field, I mean, we see that the basketball court is already being resurfaced, et cetera. What's the expected date of completion for that?
Good question. Now, the demolition, that was the demolition that took place. I mean, based on you guys voting tonight, but that's how we'll keep moving forward with everything. But to answer your question, we're looking at just maybe the first or second week in summer, weather permitting,
Okay.
to have that done, the playground done and the basketball courts.
Okay.
That's the goal.
All right.
Everything done.
That's an aggressive timeline, but it's appreciated by the community, I'm sure. Thank you.
Any other questions? All right, so do I have consent to add this to the voting agenda?
Yes.
Voting meeting. All right. So now we move on to ordinances on first reading. The BA, could you please present the ordinances on first reading? Oh, economic development. Oh, I sure did. I skipped 5 to 3 departments. Yeah. A quick meeting, huh? Maybe we should. Director Economic Development. I see you have several items. R 161-26 through R 173-26. Could you please present your items?
Yes, good evening, Council. So looking at items 161 through 163, these are representing UEZ funding, asking for submission for an application for program funding. The first item is dealing with UEZ funding for communications, marketing, and special events. The special events that will be covered here would be those under communications, such as the Queen City Fair, Faith in Blue, as well as looking at the Pride Festival and National Night Out. The next item relates to public safety initiatives. So the public safety initiatives we would be looking at here would be for our community security guards as well as our animal control. Then the last item related to UEZ funding would be for workforce development. For workforce development, this would support programming under the library for alternative education. It would look at the Queen City Mentoring Academy, as well as looking at the summer youth program, internship program. The next item, looking at 164, this is to refund construction permit fees. The work wasn't done at this address. For 165 and 166, this is related to our board attorney for both the planning board and for the zoning board. There would be no change in the funding for the budget. This would just be to align with what was issued within the contract. For 167, this would be to designate these properties for non-condemnation. And should you authorize the designation of these properties as areas in need of development, the planning board would be directed to develop a redevelopment plan. These properties in particular would go into our small home ownership lots, and they would be affordable homes for sale. 168 is related to 611 West Front Street. We presented this at the last council meeting where they had a financial agreement. A part of their financial agreement is looking at having a redevelopment area bond. This would be, we presented it last time, this would be to issue that redevelopment area bond. The bond was approved recently by the local finance board. 169 is related to 1203 South Avenue. This would be to authorize the license for a loading zone and pickup and drop-off zone. This is a mixed-use complex, and this pickup and drop-off zone would be used for moving into the apartments as well as deliveries. It would be off of Leland Avenue, and there would be a bump out that brings it in off of the throughway of the road. It would be issued in the purpose of safety. 170 and 171, this goes back to the small home ownership lots for sale. This would be to designate two separate developers. One where we're looking at 636 West 4th Street. This would be to designate the developers associated with Faceless Construction to build a two-family home at that address. With 171, we would look at 656 South 2nd Street to build two-family homes at that address. Should you designate these properties for affordable homes today, that would bring our goal that the mayor established of looking at 1,000 affordable homes in the next 5 years to 1,206. We have designated 495 homes in Ward 1, 391 in Ward 2, 60 in Ward 3, 260 in Ward 4. Again, we have exceeded the goal. We are at 1,206. Should you designate these last two on the agenda today? Moving on to item 172. This is an amendment to the resolution associated with 611 West Front Street. We had a MOU for this property where it was a memorandum of understanding between both the developer as well as the health center. This would be to align the timeline with the current agreements that we have. And the last item is 173. This is related to directing the planning board to re-examine the Teppers Track redevelopment plan. The purpose of re-examining the plan would be to add an additional use to the plan. Any questions?
Yes. With regard to the affordable housing, can you elaborate on the down payment assistance program and how that works?
Sure. So several of these properties, are the properties that are owned by the city. In the place of accepting a purchase price for the property, we would require the developers to deposit at a minimum $30,000 to down payment assistance or 5% of the sales price of the property, whichever is higher.
Thank you. I just wanted the public to understand how that works.
Councilman Sessom, Scotty.
Yes. Regarding 169-26, can you conceptualize what you mean by a bump out off of Leland? What will that look like? Do we have a visual sketch?
I do have a visual sketch which we could share, but it's more of a bump in. So if you were approaching down Leland going towards 22, there would be an indent in the curb that would allow cars to pull in and off of the main roadway so they could pull in for drop off or have truck deliveries. And there would be a hatch area for loading. So it's to pull them off the main roadway.
Thank you.
Councilman Wyatt.
Yes, just one quick question, 163-26, for the summer youth program, when is the deadline for the young scholars to apply, and how many are we looking to hire this summer?
We are looking to, we generally look to about 130 applicants. Sometimes it's larger. As for the deadline, I'll have to get back to you because I don't recall what the deadline exactly is. I have to look at the flyer.
Okay.
Okay, and I apologize for that.
Thank you.
That's it, Councilman Wyatt.
Yes. R 170-26. You said that's going to be a two-family house, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Two-family house, okay, all right. Okay, I just need that clarification. And also, thank you so much for doing a ride-along with me today, to go around to look at some properties. It was definitely well needed, but I thank you for taking the time out, going out to looking at properties and coming up with solutions and also attacking the issues right on the spot. So I thank you for that. And thank you also, Director Dabney, for taking the time and explaining to me about the Hannah Atkins today when I came in your office. Thank you.
Any other questions? Director Fields, I have one more question. Under the Mount Laurel doctrine, how many affordable units were identified that we need to satisfy in Plainfield?
So we have met our obligation, but with the affordable fourth round, what was identified in Plainfield out of the 220,000 for the state, we have a need of additional 1,300 units.
So what was the number?
1,300.
That was the original number?
The original number?
So what was the number? So Mount Laurel, they designate and they tell us how many affordable.
So that wasn't the original number. There have been several rounds since then
Yeah.
because we've identified the need.
So currently 1,300 is the number?
Yes. We're in the fourth round of that. Mount
Okay.
Laurel.
All right, any other questions? All right, do I have consensus to add this to the voting meeting?
Yes.
All right. Anybody want to take anything off the agenda? All right. All right, I see the Director of Communications isn't here. Bea, you going to present?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
The Director of Communications has one item that she wishes to proceed with this evening, and this is a resolution awarding the contract for our data center and server and backup and cloud and all of that to Sysnet Solutions, who has been our vendor for at least a decade. And this did go out to bid, obviously, because it's 172,000. They were the only vendor to bid on this service. But like I said, they do our cloud backup every day, our major cloud backup. They're our help desk support. They handle all the back end of the IT.
All right. Any questions? All right, do I have consensus to add this at the voting meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Will the Director of Sewer and Solid Waste please present your items?
Good evening, Council
Item.
President, Council. I have one resolution for your consideration and approval tonight, R 175. Resolution authorizing the purchase of one new 2027 crane carrier from Air Brakes Equipment in the amount not to exceed $451,915. This is in line with our capital replacement plan that we have, and the funding was approved, and this is just another step in that process. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Director, tell us how this investment will assist you and your workers and the department in keeping the city functioning.
Well, this is a conventional wheel loader. In layman's terms, it's a garbage truck. And we run 12 daily, and they get pretty worn out over time, and we have to constantly replace them. And so this purchase will not only give the manpower equipment that they need, but it keeps the downtime down, repair costs to a minimal. So there's a lot of benefits to continually upgrade your fleet.
When was the last time that we purchased a new one of these?
I'm sorry.
How old is the newest one besides this one?
How old is the newest one? We have some still on the road from 2014. So we'll be coming back. Like I said, this is part of the capital replacement plan that was already approved. And as we put the information together and we decide exactly what best fits our needs, then we present it to you for approval.
Okay. Is it typical for them to last 10 years or more?
With the right TLC and the right conditions, yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Ms. Director.
Council President, I just want to answer Councilman Wyatt's question.
Yes.
And the deadline for the summer youth employment application is May 16th.
Thank you so much. All right. Do we have consensus to add this one item to the voting meeting?
Yes.
All right, moving on. Now we move on to ordinances on first reading. All right, will the business administrator please present the ordinances on first reading, MC 2026 through MC 2026-06 through MC 2026-11.
Yes, thank you, Council President. We have 6 ordinances for your consideration this evening. The first one is an ordinance to amend and supplement the no parking ordinance. This is in response to resident complaints in that area, and this would be no parking on that south side of East Front near Raymond Ave. The next one we have is an amendment to the homeownership small lots redevelopment plan from February. And we're looking to add 2 addresses into that plan and change the height, the maximum height up to 3 stories. The next ordinance is adopting the East Front and Sanford Ave redevelopment plan from last month. That's the old Bank of America, and this is to allow for townhomes for sale in that area. The fourth ordinance is adopting the Plainfield Ave redevelopment plan. This is the one that was sent to study last month in April, so at the March meeting. And this is the one where the commercial space has been vacant for 10 years, so we needed to think about how we could fill that space. The fifth one is related to the resolution that Director Fields brought up and the Leland Ave loading zone, and this is accepting the deed restriction for that. And then finally, the sixth one, the last ordinance we have this evening would create 30-minute parking spaces on East Front Street, parts of East Front Street that are very popular for, running in and out of stores. We think it would help the shopping area. And that's it on the ordinances.
All right, before I open it up to my council colleagues, on the last one, the area on the East Front that you said is very popular, could you know the block number?
It starts on Park Avenue and goes up about half of the block towards Watchon.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm going to open it up to my council colleagues. Councilman Graham.
Sure. Question regarding MC 2026-06. after having a conversation with our police director, I understand that there are potential concerns regarding this T intersection. My question is, how many other T intersections that you know of do we have in the town where parking was not prohibited?
That's an interesting question. Off the top of my head, I'm not sure. I can say this though. T intersections are a tricky thing to deal with because of the nature of them. Any intersection where there isn't a free flow across traffic like this and it bottles here creates problems for the motoring public and also for any residents or businesses in that area. The easiest way to do a comparison would be to compare this intersection, and as we discussed previously, to the intersection at West Front Street and Plainfield Avenue at the Drake House. At that T intersection on the north side of the street, because that's where traffic would flow and emergency vehicles, trucks, or anything else, there is no parking in that area by the Drake House. The reason why is that you do not create a bottleneck at that intersection. So that same logic applies on the other side of town at the T intersection we're talking about with Raymond Avenue. Considering that it's an artery onto Route 22, there are several major businesses, even though they are not in Plainfield, at the end of that block. We have an apartment complex at the end of Raymond Avenue to the west side, which is on Milton Place, where we would need emergency vehicles to get down that street, and most emergency vehicles would come off of Leland Avenue, up Front Street, and down Raymond Avenue to that location. That is the reason why we put this forth. Now, I'm sure there are other T intersections in the city. One that I could think of off the top of my head, since you brought it up, is the one at Woodland Avenue and South Avenue. It's basically the same type of thing. The difference is that the roadway is a little bit wider on South Avenue than it is on East Front Street. So where we can make allowances, we do. Where it's too tight of an area, which it is, which is really pretty much a residential area, we can't make any allowances there. That's what this ordinance is about.
Great. My next question, should this ordinance pass, is the expectation that enforcement would be prioritized here over everywhere else in the town?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
It would be met on a case-by-case basis. Obviously, you hope for people to be in compliance with anything. If we get calls to that area and there's cars parked there, obviously we're going to issue summonses. If officers ride through the area and there's cars parked there, we're going to issue summonses. But will it take precedence over any other, I can say, police function? Mm-hmm. No. It'll be treated like any other parking violation that we have in the city.
All right. And how should the neighbors handle this matter? Do you recommend that they take matters into their own hands? Like if they see a car that isn't supposed to be parked, do they approach the person and say, hey, you can't park there? What should they do?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
Any resident who has a problem should always contact the police department. I say this all the time. We are a 24-hour operation. You can call us for any type of need that you have. If we don't handle it, we can put you in position with an agency, whether it's through the city or it's through the county or it's through the state or a federal level that can help you, but you should never take anything into your own hands. That is what the police department is for. That is what the council people are for. They can obviously contact you, and you in turn will contact my office, and I will then handle it. If it's a police matter, if it's a fire matter, it's for this young man right here.
One last question, just for clarity on this ordinance. This is no parking even for the homeowners that own the homes on this block?
No, there's no parking on that side of the street.
At all? For everyone?
Everybody.
Okay.
It's too tight of a block.
Sure. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Director Abney, just to piggyback off that question.
Yes, ma'am.
On the block after Hillcrest, is there parking allowed on that street? That following the next block?
It's parking allowed on Hillcrest,
Reeves?
and it's parking allowed on Reeves Terrace, and it's parking also allowed on Raymond Avenue. So, unfortunately, the society that we live in today, everybody wants what's basically considered drive-through service. even if it's not a drive-through business. I want to be able to pull up to the front door, run inside, do what I got to do, and I'm going to leave. Unfortunately, because of the way this intersection is set up, we can't operate it that way. You can park a little bit down the block. Once you're past the areas that will be designated as no parking, you can park a little bit down the block, walk to the business, handle your business, and then go on about your way. That way the area is safe, the business stays open, and everybody should be happy. The other thing in regards to what Councilman Graham said is that all of the houses on that side of the street have driveways. So there really is no reason for us to, there really is no concern for the department in terms of the residents, because if somebody's visiting them, they can pull into their driveway. If they have any type of emergency services or anything that they need, they can pull into their driveway. But if it's a police car, fire truck, ambulance, anything like that, obviously, no parking, that doesn't matter. It's an emergency situation, so we will park there if we have to.
Thank you, Director.
You're welcome, ma'am.
Any other
I
questions?
have a question, Council President.
Yes.
MC 2026-11, the 30-minute time limit, are we concerned that that may impact people wanting to come downtown and, take part in the businesses there? Is this going to, do you anticipate this having a negative impact?
No, it should be a positive impact because we're not looking for the entire side of the street. We're only looking at a half a block, and it's meant to be a turnover. What we have right now is that we may have people that are parked downtown for the whole day. You can keep feeding the meter. This is meant to make sure that we have people turn over to go to the businesses that in and out.
So will the meters only limit at 30 minutes? Is
Yes,
that
they
what's
will.
going to happen? They'll be programmed to limit at 30 minutes? Okay, thank you. And I just want to echo a little bit of what Councilman Graham said, being that the police director mentioned South Ave and Woodland, and I would just want to say that I would want that same level of consideration at that T intersection as well. That side of town has had some concerns about, with the development that goes on in South Ave and how it's so hard to either come out on Woodland and come down South Ave. So I would want that same level of consideration at that T intersection. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, on the property for the Bank of America, those going to be townhouses, you said?
Yes.
Townhouses? Okay. Are those going to be affordable?
So we haven't presented the agreement to you yet. That should be presented at our next council meeting, and we'll answer all those questions.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Any other questions? All right, Council, do we have consent to add these to the voting meeting?
Yes,
Yes? Do we have consent to add this to the voting meeting?
yes.
All right. All right, can I have a motion for a 5-minute recess?
So moved.
Have a
Second.
Second? Thank you.
Yes, we need it.
All right.
3 or 4?
All right. We now move on to ordinances on second reading and final passage. Madam Deputy, can you please read MC 2026-04 by title and further certify that the ordinance has complied with all statutory publications and requirements?
MC 2026-04 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, granting a tax exemption pursuant to the long-term tax exemption law and the redevelopment area bond financing law with respect to certain property identified on the city's tax map as Block 233, Lots 2, 611-19 West Front Street, 3, 605-609 West Front Street, 7, 118-20 Plainfield Avenue, and 12, 115-33 Waynewood Park, Plainfield, New Jersey, and authorizing the execution of a financial agreement with BH 611 West Front Street Urban Renewal, LLC, and authorizing certain other actions in connection therewith. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on March 15th, 2026.
All right, the floor is now open to any member of the public who would like to speak on this ordinance. All right, anyone? All right. May I have a motion to close public comment?
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
You need a motion to adopt. A second.
I'm sorry, can I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage?
So moved.
Second.
Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Vice President Hockaday.
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes,
It's unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
thank you. Madam Deputy, could you please read MC 2026-05 by title and further certify that the ordinance has complied with all statutory publication and requirements?
MC 2026-05 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, adopting the 14th Amendment to the 197 Scattered Sites Redevelopment Plan dated February 19th, 2026. It is hereby certified that notice of a public hearing on this ordinance was published in the Courier News on March 15th, 2026.
All right, the floor is now open of any member of the public that would like to speak on this ordinance. All right, may I have a motion to close public hearing on this ordinance?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All right, may I have a motion to adopt this ordinance on second reading and final passage? And if adopted, this ordinance shall be published as required by law.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Roll call MC 2026-05. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Vice President Hockaday.
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
Ordinance has been adopted on second reading and final passage.
All right. We now move on to public comments limited to resolutions and motions. A total of 30 minutes has been allocated for all public comments. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. If any member of the public would like to call in for public comment, please dial 646-558-8656. Enter the meeting ID, which is 934-9101-4887. Press pound, *9 to raise your hand to be placed in the waiting room. The floor is now open. Can you please state your name and city? For the record, please.
Good evening. My name is Peter Morales. I'm an attorney for the property owner of 1300 East Front Street, and I'm here on representing her with regards to MC 2026-06, which is a no park on the south side of East Front Street between Reeve Terrace and Hillcrest Avenue. This restriction falls directly in front of my client's property. My client has a tenant at this property that operates a business, a fruit stand, which is a legal and permitted use. Our position is the proposed amendment to the ordinance arbitrarily targets this business and my client's property. This is a street with parking up and down East Front Street. There's only one block that the city is looking to prohibit parking, which is this particular block, and it's about 6 parking spaces. We believe it's an abuse of municipal power to arbitrarily target a business and the property owner and its patrons. This ordinance is essentially disguised in a way to shut down the business. We have evidence that this is an abuse of municipal power and the targeting of this business because the property owner has a video and audio footage of a city council member entering and interrupting the business, stating their elected position, and advising customers in the store that they cannot park there. If the ordinance passes, in addition to the arbitrary and capricious targeting of this business, the property owner may also have a valid claim for inverse condemnation. This parking restriction would severely economically impact the value of this property. I suggest the table counsel the first reading and think this through with a proper study in consultation with the county. If safety and traffic are a concern, we should get an engineer to do a proper study, not just an opinion from the police department as far as traffic on that T intersection. That's not a rational basis. I've seen a video. I think there's statistics of 16 car accidents up and down East Front Street in an 8-block radius. 16 accidents, 2 accidents on this block. The other blocks are having no other parking restriction, just this one. The city needs a rational basis to implement this. The T intersection, safety concerns, this ordinance would actually endanger patrons of this business versus make it more safe. The patrons would be expected to park across the street and cross the street, and there's cars speeding up and down East Front Street. I think a proper engineer study of traffic and safety would look into that fact as well, not just arbitrarily target this one business. Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President, can I just ask the attorney a quick question? Would you mind? Sir, can you mentioned you're representing a client, but you didn't say who your client was. Can you offer that name tonight?
1300 East Front Street LLC is the property owner. She's in the process of selling that building.
Thanks.
State your name and city.
Salvatore Carano, 1284 East Front Street. Here is a picture presentation of accidents, 18-wheeler trucks parked on the south side of East Front Street, 64 pictures of blocking driveways, causing accidents. 2 council meetings ago, someone essentially called me a liar and said the accident occurred 400 feet away. This proves you need to go back to school and count how many feet that's away. The skid marks will tell you. It is a dangerous T intersection. Talk to New Jersey Transit. They can't get through. Talk to the public school drivers of the school buses. They can't get through. Talk to the property owners. 64 ring and pictures of blocking driveways that can't get through. And all I continue to hear is from the store operators, because I haven't seen LLC formation papers yet, that they can't control their customers. No, they can't. The city can. So I greatly appreciate your resolution, your first reading. I look forward to the second reading and the final passage. Thank you. And these will be available for personal view.
Thank you. Name and city.
Madeline Carano, 1284 East Front Street, the other half of Sal. I cannot tell you how many times I worry when my grandchildren come to visit, and they drive now, and they're pulling out, and they can't see any cars coming because you got a whole row of cars to the right, a whole row of cars to the left. Just the other day, taxi. Our driveways have become a pickup and a drop-off in front of our homes. We go away, we come back, there's a car in front of our driveway. They're waiting for the other person to leave to pull up. Okay? That's not fair. It's not right. It is endangering, and you should know better, because our lives are put on the line. And let me tell you, that resolution, it will help. It will help. Enough for me to feel a little bit more comfortable about my grandchildren, my children, my family, our neighbors, and my 86-year-old father not having to go through that. Taking him for a walk, and I have to walk around a truck because it's blocking the walkway? Because there's not enough parking space in a driveway, mind you, not a parking lot. Yes, it is endangering those. And as far as crossing the street, they're already parking across the street. They are already doing so. So what's the difference? The difference is that we get peace of mind coming out of our own home. That I don't have 2 orange cones in front of my house having to deal with people that are parking in front of it, and they park in front of it anyway, even with the orange cones. So please, keep this in mind. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone? Name and city for the record.
Yeah, Nancy Piovar, Plainfield, West End. I have a question about R167-26. I was at the planning board meeting, and the planner that was hired talked about 832-34 Monroe Avenue. And he mentioned that there was a pumping station there at one time. And I did a little research, and there used to be a sewer pumping station there. So I don't know what impact that will have on our sewage in that neighborhood if they develop that lot. I don't think the pumping station's there anymore, but it was mentioned at the planning board meeting, and the city did used to have a sewer pumping station back in the 1930s there. So I don't know what's underground there, and I just wanted to bring that to the attention of the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Name and city for the record.
Good evening, everyone.
Good
My
evening.
name is Jose. I live in Plainfield, and I work at Mini Market Shaddai. I am here to represent my mother, who owns the store. This ordinance 2026 will be affect my business to the point I will have to close. The 2 parking space provided by the city will not exist, and I understand the chief of police or proposing this ordinance. We must consider an expert on traffic before we accept this ordinance. I have 600 signatures to that propose this ordinance, both property owners and client. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Claudio. I live in Port Jervis, New York. I came all the way from Port Jervis, New York. Our company did the drawings for the rehab of 1300 East Front Street. From my observations, we always have a problem with the owners of 1304 during the renovations. We have a hard time. So I came today early. I just observed what I saw. I saw a lot of neighbors that really they don't get along with the people that live in 1304. So, and to be honest to you, I was in the business there. From my perspective, I think it will be a good business for your city. It has a different kinds of fruits, exotic fruits that only you find in other countries. And to be honest to you, a lot of the people in the community come to buy there. And I think for them to have 600 signatures, both of the neighbors and the clients, it says a lot about a business. I understand we're having a problem with the traffic. I really believe that we should consider an expert in traffic. We always use, when we do malls, when we do anything that has to do with traffic, an experienced person to tell you how to resolve the matter. Everybody's expert in one field. My company expert in doing blueprints, architecture blueprints, laundromats. We can tell you about it, but we cannot tell you nothing about traffic. That's my observation on the whole matter. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Flor Gonzalez, 410 Washington Avenue. I want to talk about the parking problem that the neighbors from the owner complained about, but I wanted to bring you in to think about this. The Hispanic community or the immigrant community have been and is now the one that contributed to this city in every level, not only in business, but also in real estate and all that. So if anyone complain about my business for you to close it because I have no parking, I will hardly asking you respectfully to consider the fact that we, the Hispanics, are the ones that keep this town going in any level. I passed by the business that then was talk about it, but the parking problem we do have it in all the city. It's not really then. Like, for example, here in 410 Washington Avenue, it's a little sometimes impossible for people to parking. The restaurants sometimes then lose business. I'm going up to the restaurants a lot of times. They don't have no parking. So respectfully, please consider that, and consider also that every time somebody bring a resolution to the table against to the Hispanic community, we already have enough with ICE here. Why we want to have also another problem with the parking or the business person to complain about us? Because for me, they complain about, the one Hispanic, then complain about us. So please, respectfully, please review every single angle and allow this business to continue his business. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Maria Vasquez. I'm living in Reef Terrace for almost 40 years, and the past 7 years, I don't have even parking in front of my house. Okay, I'm so happy about this business because that house, particularly that house, is empty for many, many years. We also, me and my husband, tried to buy the house, but that house have a lot of problems. We need to invest a lot of money, so we think about it, we say no. So finally, this family take this business. They spend their own money. I don't think so that's fair, because that's not their problem about the traffic, because they can control the traffic. There's only, they want to work. They can stay outside. It's just like a crossing guard. They can. The only thing is, I want to say to everybody, please consider this point, because I don't think so that's their fault. They need to work. They spend a lot of money. I know I can tell you this a lot of money because we're making numbers before they buy this house. Thank you.
Council President, if I
Yes.
may for a second.
Yes, PA.
The administration would like to make a request to table this ordinance.
Yes. Well,
I make a move that we pull this ordinance, we table this ordinance.
Second.
all right. Can I borrow?
We're actually during public comments and not, this ordinance isn't on the table at this point. When we get to that point of the ordinance, the motion can be made to table.
Do we get to speak or?
Yes, good.
Okay.
Name and city.
My name is Denise Riley, and I'm at 1283 East Front Street, across the street on the other side of that business. When that business opened, within a week, I had to call the police because there was a car in my driveway, not on the sidewalk, but in my driveway. The driver had no driver's license, he got tickets, he got all of that stuff. It's annoying. And then he lied and said, oh, the car wasn't functioning, but once he got the tickets and another friend of his came, all of a sudden the car magically turned on and they drove away. The other thing is, this Saturday, I was fixing my fence. There was a pickup truck right at the corner, across the street on the other side, right at the edge. It was like right here. There was a car coming this way, a car coming that way. I almost got hit with the car too because they couldn't see. How can anybody say that that's a good idea to have no space where people can see when you have a T? The driver ended up on my neighbor's lawn to avoid hitting the telephone pole, hitting me. And this is ridiculous. I'm not mad at having a business there, but there has to be some safety measures put in place. Because why should we be worried about either our driveways are going to be blocked, or we may get hit by a car, or the other car that's coming this way and another car coming this way are getting into accidents? We see it because we are there. And it's not about her business. It's about safety. And the other thing is, I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to work. This morning, and I'm gonna leave this picture. Trash. This is not a residential trash. This is commercial trash. Rats. Okay? Because it's fruits, it's vegetables and all of that. It's tubs, it's all of that. Why should we have to be subjected to that? There's no dumpster. They're using resident garbage cans. But we have to be considerate and not say anything? No. We've been living there long before that place came, and hopefully we'll still be there for the future. And I'm just bringing these up because it's like I'm concerned about safety and I'm concerned about health. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Ridley.
This is my car, this is the car that was in my driveway. I got 2 pictures of that, and then here's the trash.
Name and city for the record.
Hi, Kwane Chambers, Plainfield, New Jersey. I want to start out by saying congratulations, Councilwoman, for doing what you said that you would do in terms of public comment. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, Sister Maureen, for coming out to volunteer to make sure that happens. Thank you. Police Director, I want to thank you for starting the project years ago, but finishing it most recently so that I now have safe passage into the municipal chambers without having to go through the police department to get in. So I want to thank you for that. Those are really the only 2 comments I came until I heard all this speech here. Number one, I didn't know that it was the Latino community that keeps Plainfield going. I thought that we were a multicultural community with multicultural people keeping this community going. So you need to calm down on that comment because that's not true. The other thing is I'm also a New Jersey Transit rider. I ride the Access Link. So when I'm going to afternoon dialysis, when everybody is there buying, no, my bus cannot get through. It is too much parking. It's too many people parking everywhere. And I think what needs to be happening is, if you're concerned about your community having access to the fruits and vegetables that are native to your country, I think that's wonderful. Have a family meeting and say, hey, we're in jeopardy of losing this opportunity if we can't come together and respect the rules of the neighborhood. When I was a little girl, you didn't park in front of the house where the person paid their mortgage, whether it was an ordinance or not. That is the level of respect that we had for each other on the block. You had this spot in front of you, and you also had your driveway, because at that time we were two-car families. No, there was no ordinance on the book. It was community understanding and community rules of what we did. You come into a community, you're welcomed into the community. Learn some of the mores and the fourways of the community so that people won't come together and say, hey, we want you out, and you think it's a us versus them. It's not a us versus them. It's a all of us versus safety. And I trust the police director. He is an expert on traffic in the city of Plainfield. And since we want to do a study that shows that losing 2 parking spots is going to make you lose your business. Do that study. And then come back to us. But we're not going to do this us versus them over some parking spots. Thank you.
Thank you. Name and city for the record.
Lisa Sullivan, 1457 Shirley Street. I'm changing the mindset. I have a different issue. I don't mind the beautification of the tree planting. My only concern is that the tree that's planted in front of my house I believe is too close to the PSG gas lines. I did call and spoke to Deandra on March 25th. I asked someone from the township to come out and take a look at it, because we know that tree roots spread. And if you look at the place where the tree is planted versus my PSG gas lines, I have a concern. So I just only ask that someone come out, take a look at it, because today is April 13th. I still haven't had anybody come out yet. I'll be working from home tomorrow. So if someone wants to come, feel free to drop by anytime.
Can you give your address to Winston?
Sure.
Thank you.
Council President, if I could just remind that comments are in this section are only for agenda items only. Thank you.
Anything else that's on the agenda?
Hi, my name is Meg. I'm from Plainfield.
Hi, Meg.
I just wanted to start off by thanking you, Councilwoman Cherry, for following through on the return of virtual public comment. I wanted to, ask, I can sense tensions are a little high. I do think Plainfield absolutely is a multicultural community and city. However, I do think it's a reasonable request to take into consideration what's going on specifically with this business and this street. There doesn't appear to be a lot of Latino representation, before me. However, my question is, when this business was established and these parking spots were designated, what was the justification in that moment? And then I do appreciate, consideration of doing a full study if safety is a concern. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else from the gallery?
Council President, we have time for one more comment.
Yep, thank you.
Ella no puede hablar en inglés.
You can say your name and city.
Ante todo, muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Isabel Rizcaché y soy la dueña del negocio de la cual están poniendo el complaint sobre el parqueo. Pues la verdad, solo quiero pedirles de favor que tomen en cuenta. Soy madre de familia, tengo 3 niños pequeños. Tengo un niño de 5 años que El doctor me dijo que es autista y necesita mucho apoyo. Por la razón, yo puse el negocio para estar más al lado de mi bebé y le pedí a Dios un hogar y un negocio y Dios me lo concedió. Pues la verdad, lo único que hacemos es trabajar, no molestamos a nadie y cuando nos mudamos para el mes de diciembre hubo demasiada nieve y con el vecino tratamos la manera de llevarlo bien. De hecho, mi hijo fue con él y le dijo que si le podía sacar la nieve de su casa y era free, no le íbamos a cobrar porque queremos amistades, no queremos enemigos. Y si pudieran tomar en cuenta el negocio y si nos pudieran colaborar por lo menos con un parqueo o 2 parqueos enfrente del negocio para que nosotros podamos seguir trabajando y nuestro plan es luchar. En mi persona, soy madre soltera, tengo 2 niños que soy madre y padre para ellos y por eso es de que lucho y me esfuerzo día con día y solo quiero que me den la oportunidad de seguir adelante con el negocio por amor a mis niños para yo llevarles el pan en la mesa. Gracias.
Thank you. All right, may I have a motion to close public comment?
So moved. Second.
All right, Mr. Clerk, could you please announce the consent agenda?
Yes, the consent agenda items are identified as resolutions 15026 through 17526. That's all the items on the agenda.
We did have a motion to pull, to table.
The ordinances come after the
I'm sorry.
resolutions.
All right, may I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved. Second.
All right, Clerk, may I please have a roll call?
Roll call on the consent agenda items. Council members Briggs Jones,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
McCray,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Sessoms, Vice President Hockaday,
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
Consent agenda items have been approved.
All right. We now come to ordinances on first reading. Madam Deputy, could you please read MC 2026-06 by title?
Madam President, I move that we table 2606.
Second.
All right, it's properly moved and seconded. Do we need to do a roll call?
Yes, please.
Can I please have a roll call?
Roll call on the motion to table MC 2026-06. Council members Briggs Jones,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
McCray,
Yes.
Wyatt,
No.
Sessoms, Hockaday,
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
6 in favor, 1 opposed. MC 2026-06 has been tabled.
All right, Madam Deputy, could you please read MC 2026-07 by title?
MC 2026-07 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, adopting an amended homeownership small lots redevelopment plan dated February 19th, 2026.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Roll call MC 2026-07. Council members Briggs Jones,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
McCray,
Yes.
Wyatt, Sessoms, Vice President Hockaday,
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
This ordinance has been adopted on first reading.
All right, Madam Deputy, could you please read MC 2026-08 by title?
MC 2026-08 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, adopting the East Front Street and Sanford Avenue redevelopment plan dated March 19th, 2026.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Roll call on MC 2026-06, I'm sorry, 08, 0608. Council members Briggs Jones,
Yes.
Graham,
Yes.
McCray,
Yes.
Wyatt,
Yes.
Sessoms,
No.
Vice President Hockaday,
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
6 in favor, 1 opposed. Ordinance has been adopted on first reading.
All right, Madam Deputy, could you please read MC 2026-09 by title?
MC 2026-09 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield, County of Union, New Jersey, adopting the Plainfield Avenue redevelopment plan amendment dated March 19, 2026.
So moved.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading.
Second. So moved.
Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Roll call MC 2026-09. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Vice President Hockaday.
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes. All right, Madam Deputy, could you please read MC 2026-10 by title?
MC 2026-10 is an ordinance accepting the deed restriction for right-of-way from IOP Plainfield 1203 South Urban Renewal LLC to the City of Plainfield.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt this on first reading.
Second.
All right, clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Roll call MC 2026-10. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Vice President Hockaday.
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
That's unanimous. The ordinance has been adopted on first reading.
All right, Madam Deputy, can you please read MC 2026-11 by title?
MC 2026-11 is an ordinance of the City of Plainfield in the County of Union amending Chapter 16, Vehicles and Traffic, Article 4, Section 16:4-5, Schedule 5, Parking Time Limits on Certain Streets and Areas by adding 16A-4, Schedule 4C, Time Limit Parking, 1/2 hour, 30 minutes.
I'll entertain a motion to adopt this ordinance on first reading.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, can I please have a roll call?
Roll call on MC 2026-11. Council members Briggs Jones.
Yes.
Graham.
Yes.
McCray.
Yes.
Wyatt.
Yes.
Sessoms.
Yes.
Vice President Hockaday.
Yes.
Council President Cherry.
Yes.
That is unanimous. This ordinance has been adopted on first reading, and that concludes ordinances on first reading this evening.
All right. General comments. A total of 30 minutes has been allocated for all public comments. Each speaker will be given 3 minutes. If any member of the public would like to call in for public comment, please dial 646-558-8656. Please enter the meeting ID 934-9101-4887 and press pound. Star 9 to raise your hand. The floor is now open in the gallery. This is general comment.
Good evening, council members. My name is Alicia Kelly, and I'm a minority owner and head of operations at Plant-Based Dispensary. I did start with a bunch of numbers, but I decided not to bore everyone with that. But I will just start with saying that with the way that Plainfield planned its dispensaries, we per capita, thank you, brother, appreciate you, are probably one of the most saturated places in the nation with all variables, even more saturated than my hometown of the Bay Area. But I'm gonna get straight to the point, which was the question: what is the benefit of a consumption lounge bring to the community? And that answer is pretty simple. A consumption lounge gives people a legal controlled place to go instead of pushing consumption into the streets, cars, sidewalks, and other unmanaged spaces. The New Jersey Cannabis Regulatory Commission has already said that the purpose of consumption areas is to promote public safety and to expand access for people who cannot, or who do not want to smoke in their homes. The state's current guidance also makes it clear that adults may generally consume on private property if allowed by the owner. And at licensed dispensaries and consumption lounge, what we are trying to provide. And those limits do not affect everyone equally. They hit the black and brown residents, working class residents, and renters the hardest. People in federally supported housing face restrictions. Landlords can prohibit cannabis use on their property. Many people downtown do not own homes and do not control the rules where they live. So when the town allows more dispensaries, but blocks designated consumption spaces, it creates a system where cannabis is legal to buy, but for many residents, there is no practical place to legally use it. That shifts the burden of unmanaged public consumption onto the same downtown community that we seek to help revitalize. New Jersey's own rules show how narrow the availability of smoking is. Smoking is barred in indoor public spaces like restaurants, bars, and offices. And the state guidance specifically says there is no smoking in parks or beaches. You cannot smoke in your car, driving or not driving. And there has also been talks to completely ban public consumption. So if people cannot legally and realistically consume in their homes, where can they consume? And they cannot responsibly consume, then where can they consume? This is also why denying lounges while approving all of these dispensaries is not just a business issue, it's a community management issue. More retail access without managed consumption spaces means more outdoor smoking, more odor complaints, more packaging, more litter. And these are things around the nation that we have already seen. Again, we appreciate you guys. We're asking for you to allow us to execute our business model. Thank you.
Thank you, Alicia.
Sal Carano again, 1284 East Front Street, Plainfield. First, I couldn't say it any better than Q, so thank you. We are a mixed community. My wife is Puerto Rican. My father-in-law was born in Puerto Rico. He can't get out of his driveway to go to church. He can't come home from church. That's a problem for the city. I'd like to say the quoted council person on video, I will support you, I will witness you, I will testify to your care of safety because a huge box truck was parked on East Front Street blocking the view of people passing by. So if your concern was the concern of doing business and the safety of your constituents, bless you and I support you. 3 council meetings ago, Economic Development claimed that the mixed use was from the 1950s of the said business that opened. Well, unfortunately, whether you believe it or not, the fact that Section 17-9-37 Land Use Ordinance of our own city would be allowed, which should not be permitted since the zoning is purely 1 and 2 family, Zone R4. The old store in the 50s and 60s, and the old business, which was a hair cutting place, that building was abandoned for a decade. Vacant, abandoned. Listen to those words, attorneys. Abandoned, gutted. Not a single wall survived. Not a single heating source. Plumbing, electrical. Your own 2-year zoning ordinance does not exist any longer for grandfathering. Not at all. Thereby a variance. So when it was quoted 3 council meetings ago that we didn't need to notify the public, sorry, yes you did, because the permits to rebuild the place shouldn't have even been issued until the variance went through. And maybe then a proper study, maybe demanded by the business owner or the homeowner, should have been required. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Grano.
Buenas noches.
Buenas noches. Your name and city for the record.
Mi nombre es María Laos. Yo no pensaba, voy a hablar en español, mi lenguaje es español. Yo no pensaba hablar en este meeting, pero me veo conveniente hablar en este meeting. Hace 1 año y medio compré la propiedad 1300 East Front Street. terriblemente, por un año entero, he pasado horrorosidades con este señor Carrano. Ese señor Carrano me ha llamado, me ha cerrado la construcción como 8 o 9 veces. Me ha hecho la vida imposible. ¿Por qué me ha hecho la vida imposible? Porque un día él elevó su propiedad sin permiso. Él quería que yo, le arreglara su problema de construcción. Entonces yo le digo, señor Carrano, usted arregle su problema de construcción. Y siempre me ha estado acosando y acosando y acosando. Ponía el material de construcción en mi propiedad. Pero terriblemente he sido víctima de este señor. Entonces me ha cerrado la construcción, red sticker. Yo soy una persona, una mujer hispana, que vengo a ayudar a la comunidad, vengo a trabajar por la comunidad, no vengo a que me regalen nada. Yo he construido la 1263 East Front Street, una casa que es del 1890, que quisiera que pasen por la 1263 East Front Street. ¿Cómo está ahora esa propiedad? He construido la 269 East Front Street. Quisiera que vean que pasen como era antes y después de 269 East Front Street. He construido 277 de East Front Street. Me gustaría que lo vean como era antes, como es ahora. He construido 11 Raymond Avenue. Me gustaría que ustedes vean mi trabajo. Nosotros los hispanos venimos acá a trabajar con estas manos. ¿Okay? Nosotros no pedimos que nos regalen nada. Nosotros pedimos que, por favor, ustedes como ciudad, como políticos, como representantes, que nos representan a nosotros, por favor, no permitan que nos abusen este tipo de personas. No permitan que el poder político que este señor tiene en esta ciudad nos sigan haciendo daño a nosotros. Voy a acabar y yo tengo muchas historias más que contarles. Voy a parar acá, pero por favor me gustaría que tomen en consideración mis palabras, porque esta es la verdad que estamos pasando, y esta es la verdad que estamos pasando los hispanos. Muchísimas gracias y tengan buenas noches. Gracias.
Name and city for the record.
Okay, Flor Gonzalez, again, 14 Washington Avenue. I hear very clear what they're talking about multicultural, and I'm here to give thanks to the director or the police department. Thank you, director, for attending one of the Hispanics that was recently beaten very badly. I now want to say, specify what kind of group people was, because I really don't want to divide our city. And I guess the lady do not know me. I came here on 1997. No, 1979, I'm sorry. December 1979. So I know this town from the top to the bottom. I have known all the politicians, and I have been there in high position, but I'm not here to talking about me. I'm talking about the people that desperately need help. And I congratulate the director, because when he was beat up, the police respond, but he was cutting his fingers. He was damaged his head. He had 3 operations already, and he have children and no money to pay rent or to pay food. We are multicultural. It's time for our whole community to unite and not allow what happened many years ago, I believe 1985 or something, where we was hunted by another group of people. I hate to mention it. It was very severe. So it is time for our community to unite and be the voice and the eyes of the people, care about the people. I care about everyone. I represent everyone with high standards. And I dedicate my life to this city, and I want to die in this city. And that's the only ask God for me is to help me to be here until the last day, to raise the voice of my people and the people of this community all over. To say to the community, it's time to unite because we are being attacked from every single level. It's important for us to talk about culture. Let's do the culture. Multicultural, it's time for you to unite. When you see something wrong done to my neighbor that is Hispanic or African or Asian or whatever, be there for them. If you don't want to say something, the police department is here. Director, thank you. Because of you, he is safe now, but he is very injured. We have another case that the person, and I came here couple of months ago, and I'm asking about a meeting. Thank you to the mayor and the administration for the meeting.
Laura.
But one more minute.
Laura, I'm sorry, your time is...
Okay.
But we could talk after the meeting. Okay?
Well, it is about another meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Name and city for the record.
Thank you. Kevon Carter, 148 East 2nd Street, Plainfield. Good evening, City Council. My name is Kevon Carter, co-founder of Plant-Based Branding Dispensary. In 2021, when my team and I met with the mayor and his administration, there was a clear vision to redevelop Plainfield's downtown into a destination, a place that attracts more people, engages a younger demographic, and creates an environment where people want to spend time. That vision is exactly why we chose Plainfield as the cannabis brand and dispensary. From the beginning, we didn't just plan to open a dispensary. We built a business with a foresight, one designed to contribute to that redevelopment of downtown. Our motto has always included not just retail, but also a community-driven lounge space where we host yoga, Pilates, a live podcast, cultural events. This wasn't something we added later. This was presented as early as our planning board prep meeting in 2022. Since opening, we've already shown what that vision looks like in action. We brought people from across the state of New Jersey, as well as New York and Pennsylvania, into downtown Plainfield, many for the first time. We've hosted sold-out events, created a safe and structured environment, and contributed to growing energy in the area. Beyond business, we've invested into the community. Before we've even opened, we offered 75 meals to families for Thanksgiving, holiday gifts for 50 children, school supplies for over 100 students, and hosted expungement clinics that serve nearly 100 residents. This is who we are. This is how we operate. When the state introduced the Cannabis Consumption Lounge endorsement in 2025, it aligned directly with the model we had already created. This was not a change in direction. It was an opportunity to fully execute our business plan. We understand there were many concerns, and we've made efforts to speak out to the council members to prove clarity of what was regulated. Professionally managed lounge look like. We've already demonstrated our ability to host events safely, responsibly, and in a way that benefits the community. Granting this endorsement, not just about our business, it's about the redevelopment of Plainfield. Plant-based is already contributing to the downtown area. With this endorsement, we can expand that impact, creating a more consistent foot traffic and supporting nearby businesses. And continue to build an environment where people want to gather. We are not asking to introduce something new. We are simply asking to execute our business plan that we created. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hola, mi nombre es Madeline Carrano. Yo soy la esposa de Salvatore. Yo vivo en la 1284, la East Front Street. Yo soy latina, pero yo no estoy haciéndome una víctima, ¿ok? Sacaron que a la colocación a la comunidad hispana, yo soy latina, el derecho de los propietarios a ganarse la vida no debería anular nuestro derecho a vivir con seguridad en nuestro vecindario. Okay. Ella afirmó que mi esposo ha estado causando la obra. La última vez que revisé, él no trabaja para la ciudad. He does not work for the city, so how can he stop construction for a facility or a home? She says we terrorized her. I didn't even know who she was, didn't even know she was the owner of that property until maybe a month ago. Okay, we didn't know this, so how could we terrorize or say something against this woman? They bring up the Latino card. I am Latina, but I am not a victim. I also worked hard, my husband and I worked hard to buy our home. We have a right, tenemos un derecho, ¿ok? Para estar en nuestro hogar calmado, sin pensar que alguien nos va a dar con un carro o alguien está bloqueando nuestra driveway, entrada, ¿ok? So, this Latino thing, no. It has nothing to do with race, color, creed. It has to do all with safety. It has to do with our home, our families, our neighbors. You heard our neighbors speak. It wasn't just my husband and myself. You heard our neighbor across the street. Our other neighbor couldn't make it here because her father has the nurse coming in with an oxygen tank. Okay? So she couldn't make it. But her voice would have been heard here too. She actually told us that she trusts us, that we shall be her voice. So I'm not going to play this Spanish, English, whatever. It has nothing to do with that. Y yo siempre será latina y ellos no me pueden quitar eso. Gracias.
Thank you.
Good evening, council members. First and foremost, I want to thank the city of Plainfield.
Name of the city?
Oh, sorry. Prince Abedoye, Plainfield. Good evening, council members. First and foremost, I want to thank the city of Plainfield for giving me and my team, Plant Based, the opportunity to open our dispensary at 148 East 2nd Street. When we first came in 2021, what we pitched was never a dispensary. What we pitched was a dispensary lounge, a space to be a true community hub. At the time, there was no process to get licensed. So we moved forward as a dispensary with the intention of coming back. And in 2025, we came back in June. We heard the conversation, but we didn't get the opportunity to fully present the vision since then. Because what we're doing right now and who we are as a business is not what was described. We are hosting wellness events, yoga, Pilates, personal training, giving people a place to focus on their health and relieve stress. We've created a space for local creatives to showcase their work and express themselves. We've hosted community events to celebrate residents. We've partnered with local organizations and nonprofits to give back and support Plainfield. That's who we are, and we want to grow that. We want to do more for the community, but the lounge is the missing piece. Because lounges are destinations, especially in New Jersey, where there's very few people travel for those experiences. When people come, they don't just visit us. They spend time downtown. They eat at local restaurants, they shop, they explore. We could become a driver of traffic into the area. That doesn't just help our business, but others around us. We can't serve food, and so we partner with local businesses in order to get food to our customers, right? And just as important, we help create more knowledgeable customers. A lounge would give us the opportunity to bring brands closer to customers so they can have an opportunity to experience products and understand the brands and figure out what works for them. When a customer is more knowledgeable, they're likely to shop at not just our dispensary, but other shops in the area. We all carry similar products. We all work with the same vendors. So building knowledge helps customers be more knowledgeable customers and be able to support the local businesses. Because the truth is, the current state of cannabis is not looking good downtown. It's 5 of us with another one to come. Businesses are already selling their licenses. The ones that were early were lucky. The rest of us will have to deal with the saturation and the idea that the licenses are losing value. For most of us, we're working class minorities trying to get our business together, but with the lounges losing value, it's going to be hard for us to get back what we invested. And so a lot of us businesses will go out of business, mostly black and brown businesses first, but we won't be able to sustain. The only people that can sustain are the rich and the developers. Thank you, and I hope you consider us for a lounge.
Thank you, Prince.
Testing here. Hear me? All right, cool. Good evening, all. My name is Eves Tony, local resident, minority business partner at Plant Based. I'm on Plainfield Avenue. Before I get into the business side of it, the curbs on 11 on Plainfield Avenue. There's maybe like a 2-mile stretch where the only difference in what Plainfield looks like and what South Plainfield looks like is our curbs, with all that erosion going to the street and whatnot. Make our grass look better, make our property value look better. We pay more taxes, y'all get more happy, right? Yes? All right, yeah, all right. I got a little something. But I'm gonna try to wrap this up. I didn't write anything, my partners wrote. I'm just gonna try to pitch it. I'm gonna talk a little bit about partnership. We got into this thinking we was gonna be a partnership with Plainfield. The leadership in Plainfield said this, they wanted not only to be involved in cannabis, but they wanted to make this a destination location, right? So we applied that to our business model. We didn't just want to open up a dispensary. A lot of them were gonna come up. We knew that. We didn't complain about it. We had some predatory contractors that we had to work through. We didn't complain about that. We knew we had the partnership in Plainfield because their vision was aligned with our vision. So we want to stay with that, right? Oh man, time's running fast. Wow. But so what we thought we were going to get involved with was like, hey, look, if we came up with an idea, we pitched it, they'd be receptive to it and either give us a yes or no. But at times, it's the communication that we didn't receive. We set plans to like have a meeting, we didn't get no return back. We can't even pitch our idea if we don't get that communication coming back, right? My time is running short, but I'll just touch on a couple of things where I was even shocked as a partner to see how cannabis and the expungement clinic that we had before we made a dime in the town. We ran an expungement clinic. Kevon spoke on it briefly. I want to elaborate a little bit. We able to have over 100 people come in. Now me, I'm a little long in the tooth. I got a little salt and pepper like most of you and whatnot, right? So I thought it was going to be a whole bunch of young people coming in to get their records expunged. The opposite. They were closer to my age. I was like, well, you guys are hard on your luck. You might need a little help. I said, no, I got a great job. I work for transit. I work for this. I work for that. Then why do you need your records expunged? If you're in an apartment, I didn't even know this. I'm a homeowner, been here for 20 years with my wife. And my wife is half Dominican, so I appreciate the the unity. Let's not separate like this. This is a great community, great community. I love it here. I absolutely do, right? Now, wow, thanks for the applause. Appreciate that. But when the people that were affected the most were people around my age, when they wanted to go for another apartment, I didn't know this. Like I said, I own my home. But you had to write on the application whether or not you've ever been convicted of anything. So that's the one thing that we're holding these people down. And that's the thing we dedicated our time to when we got here, right? First thing we did on the agenda, we thought we had partners aligned with us on that.
Thank you so much. I'm sorry, your time has expired.
Good evening. I can start now? Okay. Good evening. I just want to thank the council, especially Briggs Jones. I have been talking with her in reference to my block. My name is Sharon Rosario. La Familia. I'm here. I'm here. But I just want to thank her because the ride along, it made a big difference in me. Because I'm born and raised here. And I appreciate that someone cares about my block. And she came, she saw, and she brought it back to you guys. On my block, we have potholes. You can't even turn the block because there's like 3 big ones coming into the block, going out of the block. DeKalb, Grace, and Johannes. Potholes. And the filth. I'm a little perturbed about that because I know we talked about cleaning up and so forth, but it has not come to my block. And again, we're on this multicultural thing. My community is multicultural. They're afraid to come out. And some of them are homeowners, some of them are renters, but they stay in their homes. They don't come out and clean up. The garbage cans. We talked about that numerous times. I have 2 Pacific residents on this block. They refuse to take in their garbage cans. 24/7, 365 days a year. I had damage to my property because when we had our storms, their garbage cans ruined my car. I had to come out of pocket for that. But again, I think Briggs Jones because that right along made a big difference to me. It gave me more hope and humanity in my city that I chose to come back and purchase in. So I thank you guys.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Christian Lawrenson, and I live here in Plainfield. I just wanted to say thank you for bringing back the dial-in option for public comment. I think it's so important to encourage and facilitate civic engagement here. I know as a parent, people who are working late, commuting, there's a million reasons that people can't be here when they'd like to be. And so it's really nice just knowing that we have that option now. A lot of times, I'll listen in even if I'm not communicating, but to know that now we do have that option is really great. So thank you. If Zoom could ever come back, I feel like that's a less cumbersome, easier option. But so just a request if that is an option that's being talked about. I preferred that one, but so thank you.
Thank you.
Nancy Pivar, Myrtle Avenue, Plainfield. I think this is off topic, but it's very close to my heart. Last week, the Defense POW MIA Accounting Agency identified Chief Electrical Mate John Judson Campbell, U.S. Navy. My brother was a Navy veteran. They sent a Rear Admiral from the Pentagon up to be the officer in charge to reinter this soldier in Hillside Cemetery. He was probably mustered in Plainfield, but he was originally from North Plainfield. The night before the ceremony, as I was compiling a book of old newspaper articles for his family, I found a newspaper article that listed 2 other men who were missing from this area. EMC Campbell and boatswain mate First Class Charles Raymond Kelly. In the article, EMC Campbell's mother, Margaret, even in her overwhelming grief for her son, made sure she mentioned Edward J. Lloyd. He was a Plainfield resident. He was a signalman first class who served on the same ship as the 2 other men. 3 men from the same local community served on the same ship in World War II, were captured, sent to the same POW camp in Japan, were in the Bataan Death March, and they all have family members buried in Hillside Cemetery. Kelly was found, and he was buried 8 years later. Campbell was just recently found and identified by the U.S. Pentagon and MIA agency, and after 84 years, he was brought back home. Lloyd, unfortunately, remains unidentified. But now that I found out about this, I will be sending a letter to the Rear Admiral and also to the MIA agency to see if we can relocate and bring him home. He was a Plainfield resident. He lived on Clinton Avenue. He went to the same school as my brothers and sisters, Jefferson School. Nobody ever talked about him when we were growing up in the 50s. It's very sad. His father worked at Mack Truck, and I hope that I'll be able to bring this soldier back to Plainfield. Thank you.
Thank you, Nancy. All right, we're going to see who we have online.
We have one speaker online. Caller with the number ending in 690, please unmute yourself, state your name and your municipality. Caller ending in 690, please unmute yourself if you wish to speak. This is the last time. Caller ending in 690. If you wish to speak, please unmute yourself.
Press star 6 to unmute
Press
yourself.
star 6.
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Hi, thank you so much. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that dial star 6. Ayana Gilmore, Plainfield. First, I want to say thank you to Councilwoman President, actually, Sherry, for allowing for the open comment over the phone. I also do want to note that the information for joining the open comment online is incorrect. So it would be awesome to get that updated so people can comment. I want to bring to the attention of the council a issue that I've reported to the Department of Public Works often. It's an issue regarding to litter. This is on the back end of the TSC&G building on Rock Avenue. So this would be the back gate that is on Front Street. There is litter that has been accumulating for months now. It's really bad. I have reported this at minimum 5 times to the DPW, and it just seems to be getting worse. I'd really appreciate it if someone can reach out to me and let me know what the status is on this issue, and if there's any way that residents can assist with getting this area clean. It's really filthy. It's right next to Jefferson School. Kids don't deserve to have to walk through all that garbage to go learn. Thank you.
Thank you. No one else on public comment?
So we have one more caller never mind, they're gone. Wait, no, that's them. Caller ending in 209, the floor is yours.
Yes, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello, good evening. My name is Sebastian Torres, Plainfield, New Jersey. I wanted to call in first off to thank Councilwoman, or Council President now rather, Cherry, for renewing the call-ins. So I wanted to take advantage of that and exercise my democratic rights to speak up at the meetings. Tonight, I wasn't planning on speaking per se, but the discussion has been very lively, very interesting. And one thing that has stood out to me, which I really hate to see, is this kind of like racial animosity and this weird racial tension that like gets stoked up with this type of situation. Particularly, I wanted to address like some of the comments made by, I believe the lady's name is Floor. She was making some very strange comments about like persecution and all this kind of stuff. I don't know what she was talking about, but it left a bad taste in my mouth, and it felt like it was trying to stoke up like some kind of like racist angst or anger. I'm not really sure what was happening there. With regards to the parking situation, I feel very bad for both parties involved. Mr. Carano deserves to live peacefully in his house without having people all up in his driveway and everything else like that. And that woman, I feel very bad that her business is in jeopardy because of this situation. But what I can say is that what is happening here is a result of what I would say personally is a lack of proactive action by the city council, by the city, by the administration as a whole, when it comes to promoting, creating businesses, and helping people, be active in the city in the way they want to be. People want to be able to live their life. People want to be able to have their businesses, but there has to be some clear planning. Now, in Ward 1, we have a council person who is in real estate, right, Councilman Graham. So he should have been aware when this business was opening what kind of business it was going to be, if it was going to bother anyone, and kind of bring the community together to discuss these types of things to avoid the tension that's going on right now. I would say the same kind of thing is potentially going to go on with the plant-based the lounge that they're trying to have. I was very vocal against it because personally I just don't feel that it is the type of business that I would want in the community. I understand that they're doing great things, but you could paint it as many ways as you can, but it is problematic to have that kind of business, in my opinion, in the community. But when you have the city making promises to business owners, and you have the city taking donations, right, for campaigns like the mayor did from plant-based, then there's promises that have to be kept. And then when these promises are kept, they clash with the interests of the community. So when you have these private interests clashing with the community, that's when you have these problems. And, the council can't have these conflicts of interest because inevitably they're going to clash, okay? That's the problem here.
Mr. Torres?
So, yes.
Thank you so much for your public comment.
Okay, thank you so much.
All right, can I have a motion to close public comment?
Seconded.
Would any of the directors or the BA like to answer any of those questions? Yes, Director Dabney.
Follow up the
noted that, so we can check that block, the location, see what was going on. One of the constituents that using that, we have that information. Also, the building of the PSC building, we're gonna check the litter with like different schools, see what's going on. And one man about the tree planting, but we really want to get the location that you're talking about, to see the plans, we just look at that and see.
All right. Any other directors?
In reference to the comment about Resolution 167, we are aware that there will be a utility easement required for that property. So that'll be part of the deed restriction for that. Again, the tree planting, it is in coordination with economic development and with DPW for that. So we'll look at that location. In terms of the non-conforming use, by law, we follow our standard zoning ordinance, what's allowed in the non-conforming land use for that. It is inactive it has been active since 1954. There's no requirement to notify property owners unless there is a variance, and there was not a variance.
All right. Yes, Director John Luis.
I have inspectors out, they look at a lot of different issues with solid waste. If you see cans in the street past the collection date, please contact the solid waste office and we'll send someone out to address it.
I've done that. All right.
I'll speak with you offline and we'll get to the bottom.
Council President, I have a question for Director Fields.
Yes.
Director Fields, with regard to, I guess, 1300 LLC or that 1300 East Front Street, do you recall with regard to inspections, how many times or how many citations has that property owner been given?
So I can look that up for you for sure, but currently I don't have it off the top of my head. I don't have any citations that I've seen. So I can look that up and give you that number.
Okay. All right. That's all I want to know.
Okay. Well, before we close out, one thing I'm going to say is that, one thing I love about Plainfield is that we are diverse. I moved to Plainfield because we are diverse, not because we are one nationality. Yes, the tensions were high tonight, but I do have faith in the leadership of the city to fix it. As a city, we're going to have to live together, right? As neighbors, we have to live together. And we have to respect each other. So, although the ordinance was tabled tonight, we do have to find some type of viable solution for that area. All right, so let's just trust the process that we will find a solution, and then let's lower the tensions. Because one of the things I heard tonight is that a lot of race. It's, we have to look at things as a safety issue. All right, let's look at it as a safety issue, and let's make sure that we care about all of our residents, the city, all of our businesses, and and the viability of our community. All right, so I just want to close with that. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Seconded.
Thank you. My God.